We now move on to the second panel for the day. I'm quite sure that will be as interactive and as exciting as the first one. Our panel is basically going to be talking about preferred hotel programs and how can mutual success be achieved between the corporate buyer community and hotel partners. I'd like to invite Sunil Sharma, who is our moderator for the panel today. I'd also like to invite Karuna Sheikh from the Boston Consulting Group, so I don't make a mistake. Please take a seat. Major Pramila Mohite, this time around as a panelist and not as the moderator. Renu Basu from the Taj Group of Hotels, tremendous experience and knowledge in the domain. And finally, but not the least, Mr. Ravi Valecha, who is formerly with Vedanta. So,
hello, good evening everyone. We started with good afternoon and we have reached good evening, so day is going fast. Alright. In the corporate travel world, a relationship between a corporate buyer and a service provider, which is a hotel, the hotel owners, very important, very important. So let me give you some idea of my conducting this session. Usually in some of the sessions, some questions are direct questions to the buyer and some direct questions to the other people. My idea of conducting this event is to make everyone speak about everything. Though there will be some direct questions to a buyer, I would like reaction also to follow from the other segment. Starting with the first question, we go with the base. How do we make the base when we start building a relationship? So I would start with Karuna. The first question would be, what are the key factors which, when you approach a hotel or you speak to your management and you plan that we need to have a hotel program? I'm sure there would be some certain factors which you consider from your policies, considering your budgeting and all those things. So what are the factors which you determine when you go into a relationship with a hotel?
Hi, good evening everyone. So when we actually talk to hotels and plan to involve them in our program, some of the key factors that we look into is one is the tier of the hotel. The second being the location, and the third the price. And when I say price just doesn't mean the price what we pay, but a lot of added benefits, the value added services that the hotel provides. While they also confirm the price, the most important thing is the availability of the room at that price through the year.
All right, Pramila?
Yeah, to add to that, definitely price is the last factor when I do it for my company, because I have a pre-budgeted factor in mind always. So exceptional standards to that category is a prime thing that I look forward for. Then secondly, my key concern areas are the reviews and feedbacks that I have from the market. And lastly, the ultimate customer delight. I'm more concerned about my employees having a nice de-stress day and getting business ready for their tomorrow. So these are the key factors, and price, of course, is there always, Sunil.
So I get a new word here, which is the customer delight. A lot of people always say pricing, but that is not the only thing you should be looking for. Customer delight is very important because it is not just one or two travels a day, one or two travels a week, or in a growing organization, it is very important that your customers, your employees are very happy. Ravi, how do you?
Yeah, in addition to what they've also said, what I look into when deciding on a preferred hotel partner is more of a partnership. It is not a vendor relationship, which we usually corporates tend to put them in a slot that they are a vendor. But to me, they are not vendors. This is a partnership. If we want to grow our bottom line and they want to grow their bottom line, there has to be some sort of a partnership where both of us benefit.
Wonderful. So customer delight to partnership. So Renu, how do you reciprocate?
Hello. So I think you all have addressed quite a few of the things, because when you were deliberating before we met, I thought price came out as too much. And I don't think price is the only thing. And Karuna's already mentioned your hotel. Location was one thing that I had added in mine. And you said price added benefits and getting that same price through the year. And you did add customer delight and you said partnership. So these were all on my list. I'd just like to add two more things. One is the reputation of the hotel. Because I think that really means a lot for your guests or your officials. You know, like Pramila said that they need to be business ready. I think that's very important. And what a lot of you may not realize, but I have Raza in the room here, is also how the people at the hotel who come and meet you to do the contracting and where I cut my teeth, is that we people are the custodians of your business at the hotel. You know, so that is really where the customer delight comes from at the service level when they're staying there and what we do for you. So I really feel you can't just go on price, because I think the reputation of the brand and the hotel company makes a huge difference. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the second question, we have already talked about pricing. My second question, the main element of the second question is pricing. So the actual question is how critical is the pricing factor while you go into a relationship?
So I'll actually say the same thing that I said, while price is important, the more important is availability of that room at that price through the year. Because it's very easy to negotiate and tie down the hotel at a particular price, but if I'm not going to get that room available through the year, and if it's going to be blackout most of the year, it doesn't make sense. So I think the last room availability and all of those clauses mean a lot more when you just agree on a price.
So how do you balance it? Like, let's say if you can give me some specific example you may have done in some case.
Yeah, so I think when we agree on a price, there are other factors in addition to the price that we agree, which is cancellation within 24 hours, last room availability, and then making sure that the room is available maximum number of days, and if there are blackouts, then those are already informed to us well in advance, and which we can put it up on our internal websites as well.
I also have an added extension to this question. I have seen in a lot of organizations the policy doesn't change for years. How do you?
So I think that I would probably say would be one of the best practices as an organization. How do you continue to be agile and continue to benchmark your travel policy in line with the market, in line with business, in line with what's changing in the world? You cannot have the same policy what you did 10 years ago. And I know very rarely every organization does that. So it is, I think, something that the travel administrator should push to and make sure that we do this every once in a while.
Exactly. Pramila.
Yeah, quite agree to that, but it wouldn't be right when I say that we don't pay attention to price. Of course, price is a major factor, but it comes maybe last in the line. Where I have gotten a revolution in my company is we have a budget, like I said, a prefix budget, and we have categorized into A, B, and C, where A means 20,000 and above room night cost. So I know my prefix budgets, and that's how I ask hotels to come in, the hotel program to come in and pitch for. So the best deal is already budgeted for. For me, it is a blend.
Up to the organization, and then that at a larger level that comes back to you. So we are investing a lot in technology, and all of us know how expensive technology is. And we are also investing in digital a lot. You see our website today. It's very, very interactive. And then we're also going to mobile apps. We are also looking. Have I taken away from your question?
Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so because you wanted to discuss technology.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I'll read for you. Okay, what I haven't heard from y'all, and we hear that a lot, nobody's mentioned the loyalty program. Does the loyalty program really matter to in usage, because that criteria didn't come up in any discussion?
Yes, those were the first question where your key concerns did come in. Of course, whenever business administrators like us The first thing I would ask you are what are the loyalty programs that you would like to offer, because that would be complementary, ultimately resulting into customer delight. So that does form an important factor. What concerns me, Renu, sorry Sunil, I need to take
Please
this
go ahead,
deviation ahead, is the flexible pricing system that, and that is generally the answer when you say ki dal ka bhav, chawal ka bhav and all that, is because of the concerns that I as a manager have, and I'm not confident that you're posing the exact and the right price to me. Maybe to a different buyer, you're posing a different price. So that is a concern. Can you tell me how I can overcome that concern and tell Renu exactly 500 room nights, exactly at the price of 4,000 rupees, are you ready to offer to me? So there's always a concern at the back of my mind, is Renu giving me the best and the most transparent price that I have? How does technology help you in that? So is it the same price that you're going to give to all buyers as well? Or is it the volume of room nights that I'm going to negotiate with you? So I always have these concerns, and that's why I always say dal ka bhav chawal.
So just quickly, because he's saying there are only 5 minutes left, but we certainly look at the potential. So a person who's giving 100 room nights versus 1,000 room nights will get a different rate. It has to balance the needs of the hotel as well. So small inventory, large inventory or hotel. So we would definitely ensure that a person who has high volume gets a better rate. I cannot give a person with 100 room nights the same rate as I'm giving to the person who has 1,000 room nights. Hope that answers your question. Not really. We can have it do an offline.
Over a cup of coffee.
Can I move to Karuna for her last 30 seconds of view on
Technology?
everything? Everything.
So I think if I have to look at it, hotel program is one, knowing your business, building relationship with your hotel partner. It's a mutual relationship, it's a give and take, and it's more about understanding your business, the hotel understanding the potential, they having like a relationship person who understands the accounts, so you're not talking to multiple people. And in terms of the organization, how the organization can remain agile, be in line with what's coming up. More so I'd like to still add on the technology part, the employees that you are kind of managing right now is not the same that you'll manage few years from now. And not how we did our bookings 5 years ago. So this is the young consumer who's looking at technology, so they're looking at everything on their app. So I think that is something that we need to be ready with, and that was the thing that I wanted to complete in terms of how do we strategize, how do we want to make sure that people are adhering to the programs. So internally, at least, I think from BCG perspective, we've done things like we have an app which kinds of puts up your hotel programs there. You can go up, see which is the hotel, how far is it. You also have your internal people kind of putting feedbacks there, so it's our own TripAdvisor kind of stuff. And I think this is also useful at the end of the year when you're negotiating with the hotel. You can go back and say, here are the comments that my people said, this is what worked well,
That's
and this is
wonderful.
something that you can do better. So I think in terms of, we all need to be ready for what's coming up. What's working now obviously will not stand through a few years later.
Thank you, Karuna.
So, but I think overall it's trust and relationship that as business
So I think
partners.
let's let Ravi give his 20 seconds and then last 30 seconds by Renu, and then one question to that side also.
I'll just deviate from the topic a little bit. When we're talking about a relationship, we're talking about corporate, we're talking about hotel, we're talking about everything else. But one thing which we usually, I wouldn't say conveniently, but we usually forget about is the role that the sales team does. The sales representative or the relationship manager or whatever you call her, the role that he or she plays is very important, because over here with corporate managers like us, we keep pulling them down. So today if your rate is 10,000, no, I want a 9,000. And when they go back to Renu ma'am and she says, no, he's at 10,000, you have to come at 11,000 rupees. So now this kind, these people, they actually get crush
Sandwich,
between
yeah.
both of them, but the appreciation what they should get in this entire partnership is something which we all need to recognize, and it is because of these people which we as travel managers are able to get our rates, and at the same time the hotels they can get their businesses.
Very true. Your final
I have a very
comments?
quick question. When I was doing some reading on trends, while the new population is all about instant gratification and mobile apps, but with the GDS, you have to book on GDS. So how do they act so quickly? We haven't found any answers from the corporates on that. And talking about best practices, HDFC Bank, he had instituted this, was at the hoteliers meet where they honor all the salespeople. So they've really been in the forefront. Even IBM, Tesco. So there are some best practices as well.
Thank you so much, the panelists. Anyone having a question? I'm sorry I'll not be able to take many questions. I'll start with the doctor first and then move to Gary.
Hello. I just have one question, or I just want to understand the mindset, because we talked about loyalty and all this various jargons. What I was thinking is, when we always sign a deal on the room nights, when the same corporate has a banqueting request and it is a small income for you, when you get something from a walk-in, what is your mindset of your company, which you will choose between the two? You have a resident conference. See, what happens is, during peak days, you say it is waitlisted but not confirmed. Okay? And the corporates who deal with, see, we don't have a prism or anything which we were talking about like you have in airlines. You don't have a potential business from a corporate which is going to someone else who's your competitor. Rates can be, it's you who place a rate because it is based on your competition with your neighbors. So we don't basically what you call influence you to put a rate card. Of course, the volume is one part, but I just want, when there is, like in airline, when the salesperson comes, he recognizes you as a business. But when you go to the airport at the counter, you are a walk-in customer. The same way for us, when it's the room nights, we have something in place, and it's always a superlative figure which people put across. When you say that there's a potential of 400, he'll put 800.
Sanjay, can you give the specific question? So
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, the same customer, how do you influence in the banqueting thing?
So there are two things. One is whose query came in first. That is very important. Two, what other income is coming with that. I mean, there are rooms, there's a query, if it's waitlisted, if somebody's got rooms along with the banqueting, obviously there would be some play there. Because once I give my banquet room, I cannot give them rooms. But there is a bit of flexibility there. Let me assure you that. It's not that it's just that you have to have rooms. Suppose you have a CEO of your worldwide company coming in and you need a large banquet room and there are only 3 rooms, we're not going to deny you that. But if it's a wedding date, yes, there may be some challenges.
A question from Gary and then last question from Gaurav.
I've got 2 quick, thought-provoking things. I may not look at answers immediately. We can discuss it over a cup of coffee, but it's for all. One is that while we have Taj here, and we also heard about the Accor group, why don't we have a uniformity of one single relationship manager for the organization? Taj may have it for the entire Taj umbrella, but a lot of hotels, chains do not have it. Please think on those lines, because that helps us build the relationship instead of dealing with all segments separately. That's one. Second is that technology is a disruptor. We have the Olas and the Ubers, and similarly now we have the hotel consolidators there. And there's a challenge for us, and I'm sure Ravi and the others would also agree, that there's a price range we have agreed, but when we go there on the online portal or on the aggregator, there is a difference of the price available and become challenging. While we do justify and we have the reasons for that, so please think on those lines, that can something on those lines be also work that, because that's putting our credibility at stake similarly as yours. And maybe I'm not looking at answer immediately. Yeah.
That's a great perspective. Gaurav, you have a question.
Yeah, so again, I have two questions for Ms. Basu. One is, you mentioned that payment is a concern. So I want to know exactly, what is hotel doing to ensure that submissions and reconciliations are done on time? Because I think this is the biggest challenge what we have been seeing with most of the hotel. Question number one. Question number two is, I've seen in the recent past that most of the hotels we have tied up with on a pan-India level. But what happens is, if Mumbai has got a rate of 5,000, Bangalore might get a rate of say 3,500, and which is locally negotiated. Now, how does this works? Is a question which I have.
Okay, so I'll quickly answer this payment being a concern. Ideally, I think the best thing to start moving towards is really corporate cards, because if you are controlling the program, the payment is immediate. So, I mean, if it's a large group, yes, the hotel also needs to perk up and submit the bills on time. I think there are certain companies that are repeated
The average delay time
from
the day of submission is not less than 2 months. So this is the standard average delay time of most of the hotels when they come to submit the invoice.
they come after 2 months, not in our case.
This is a standard process.
Can be. Can be. But it shouldn't be. I think then those are not public limited companies for sure.
In a few cases, those delays happen even from a hotel like Taj. I have also
2 months.
experienced 1.5, 2 months, yes.
Okay.
Then
Then I'll take it up, but that's not.
I think-
Give the second answer and we
Yeah.
have to wrap up.
Okay, on this pan-India level, I must say the rates are all dependent on some of the factors we have spoken about. Location, category of hotel, supply, demand in that city. The rates can't be, I mean, for all India, we may not get one unified rate. So Bombay, the rates for all hotels are higher than a city like Bangalore.
What he was talking about is if a central liaison in Bombay.
Oh, being somebody is here.
At 5,000.
No, that shouldn't happen.
Local salesperson gives it at
That
2,000.
we try. Has it happened with the Taj?
All right, we can. I
We
think
can
we
discuss
can take
that
these things offline.
Ideally, it shouldn't happen if you're dealing centrally.
So I think that calls for another cup of coffee, which you guys are going to get only after 40 minutes. Maybe you'll have something more attractive than a coffee, but thank you all for a wonderful panel. I think it was really engaging. The level of interaction within the panel and with the audience was really outstanding. I wish we had more time. We would have really, I guess, there are a lot more questions on the floor, and I'm sure all of you are going to get barricaded once you break for cocktails. So thank you very much. It was a very, very engaging panel. I'd like to give you guys a small.
My last thought is that apart from words like customer delight, partnership, and all those things, there's another thing which is needed is to increase the time slot for this kind of panel discussion to maybe an hour. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for being here.
I think we need a round of applause for the panel.